Did you ever receive a gift that you weren't expecting and, well, if you're really going to be honest about it, you really didn't want? Yeah, I think it happens to most of us. Well, this year, Santa brought me anti-aging skincare products. Definitely came as a surprise to me. I mean, I don't think of myself as being aging. Well, I just really didn't think I needed the products, but I do have sensitive skin, and well, I'm constantly surprised by the things that this no longer 20-year-old body does and doesn't do anymore. So I decided to follow Santa's lead and use my gifts, and it turned out they were exactly what I needed. Well, some gifts are like that. They're not what we are expecting, and they may not even be appreciated at first, but if you have an open mind and you're willing to make room for the possibility that they could be just what you need, then they can turn out to be a true blessing. They may even lead you to deep truths and amazing discoveries. But you have to be willing to receive the gift. I mean, just imagine if the Magi had ignored the gift that God sent them. I mean, it was just a star, and they saw stars all the time, but this one was different somehow. Perhaps it was bigger and brighter than all the others. Maybe its appearing took them by surprise. I mean, we don't really know what exactly prompted these wise men from the east to follow that particular star all the way to Jerusalem. We just know that they did. They had seen the star when it first appeared, and to them, it meant that there was a new king. And something told them that they should go and meet this new king. So they followed the star. It was a gift from God. It was a sign from God, and they received it. They followed it. And it led them to Jesus. He was not what they were expecting. See, they were expecting a king, and Jesus was just a child from a poor family. And they were expecting a king. When they finally made their way to Jerusalem, they probably expected to dine in a great home with the emperor and his court and lots of guests, dignitaries from all over the world. They may have assumed that they'd be given clean robes to wear and fine wine to drink and days and days and days of feasting and dancing and singing. I mean, they were expecting a king. But their search eventually led them to Bethlehem, a tiny little hill town. It's not exactly a place where you'd expect to find a great king, but that's where the star led them, to a humble home in an obscure little town. And you can only imagine what they thought when they stepped over the threshold and found a young woman still in her teens, alone with her infant son. I mean, they were expecting a king, and what they discovered was a child, vulnerable, unprotected, and, to be honest, not very impressive. It was just a boy and his mother, and a star hanging in the sky like a promise. Now, the star didn't lead the wise men where they expected. They did not find what they were seeking. They discovered so much more. That gift from God, that star, that sign, it led him to Jesus. Well, God can use all kinds of things to lead us to Jesus. A star, religious leaders, even a dangerous foe can be used by God to lead us closer to the Christ child. And isn't that what we want? To grow closer and closer to the Lord? In the words of a great old musical, to see him more clearly, to love him more dearly, to follow him more nearly day by day. Isn't that what we want? Today, I offer you a gift, a star, a word. In just a moment, I'm going to show on the screen some paper stars, and each one has a different word printed on it. And I invite you to spend some time in prayer, get still and quiet, take some deep breaths, and get still and quiet, and ask God to lead you. And then look at the different words and see what speaks to you. Let the Spirit lead you. Receive it as a gift from God. And then let that star, that word, guide you. You might cut out a star with that word on it and put it in a place where you can see it often, perhaps daily, perhaps many times a day. And reflect on your word throughout the coming years. See where it leads you. What does it say to you? Is it a gift that you need to receive? Is it something you need to incorporate more of in your life? Or could it be an issue that needs to be addressed in your life? Something that hinders you in your walk with Christ? Or maybe the word will lead you to reflect on others and situations who deal with whatever that word is. And perhaps you'll be led to pray for them. Perhaps you'll be led to get involved in some kind of work with them. I mean, this star might lead you in directions you never imagined or to truths you might never have discovered. I mean, God can use all kinds of things to lead us closer to Jesus. We just have to be willing to receive the gift.